How's Diana?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm all right.
Stuff on campus is pretty quiet up there. Quiet.
That way, everybody can speak, well, and that should be, or they can share it, that's true, but do you want to come over, please?
Okay.
And this one can be open for public commentary.
Okay.
And we will let Deb and the mayor.
Okay.
Emma is not coming.
Oh, Emma's not going to be here.
So, well, that's right, so that's, because then when you're recording, it's all, everybody gets heard. And
Deb
also,
might.
we borrowed the microphone for this public forum. So, if you're, hey, you can stick to this way or come back around for an also. So,
Is it next? It's in the Corn Palace?
in this one also, yeah.
Okay.
Council first, and then the mayor, and then so forth. But it's also being broadcast on.
Okay.
Did I miss a chance to buy a pillow last week?
No, but you asked, I'm actually eating some of his, he got treats, apparently it's a VIP. So he left treats to me because we were digging for equipment, we saw this pillow bag, which I'll bring into you if you like, and it's full of treats. So we've been snarking on them, like literally a few minutes ago.
Awesome.
We found clusters.
Oh, nice.
Oh, those sound good.
Yeah,
Nice.
no pillow.
They won't turn me into a Republican, will they?
What, he was a different cat, no doubt about that. He was, I didn't listen to his stuff, but he was here most of the day, so I kept it in. But they treated our staff very well, very professional, very respectful, as far as events go.
Right.
It was actually a good event for Corn Palace. I mean,
Yeah.
it had as far as protection and rental equipment and all that kind of stuff, so, but.
I hear the former president didn't always pay his bills when he had local events. This guy did.
We got the check already, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, and Whiskey Creek did all the food, that was a $1,000 plus deal for them. The Light and Sound Company on Sioux Falls, eventually, yes, probably $10,000-12,000 for.
I tell you, it gives Corn Palace a lot of free publicity too.
Yeah,
Well,
Deb will be too,
right,
so I guess we'll
yeah.
start.
Good, bad, or otherwise.
Okay.
In order to have a forum.
Oh.
Well, because right now.
Now we don't have a quorum.
Is the majority of the board.
Yeah, half plus one. Yeah. We're short one.
Deb said she'd be a little late. You said Steve was going to be a little late, and Emma's not coming. Well, then I guess you have to wait, huh?
And, before we get started, also, we need to be done by 10 after 6.
Okay.
Because of that event.
Okay.
They are starting to broadcast it automatically. And I don't know,
Okay.
what happened. We're broadcasting to the channel.
Okay, here's Steve, so we can
Now we
start.
can start. What's going on at the city council tonight? I'm out of the loop. I've been gone out of town.
Oh, that's public forum, that's
Oh,
for candidates.
For candidates. Okay.
Candidate forum.
Are they already voting in Sioux Falls? Because one of my friends had a vote sticker on her Facebook page.
Today is the fall
School board. Yeah.
It is today, okay. Hi, Steve. Okay, let's call the meeting to order since we need to be done by 10 after 6 at the latest. So, call the meeting to order. We are missing Deb Everson. She should be here shortly, and Emma won't be here today. So, start with the approval of the agenda. Can I have, do we do discussion?
Any changes, Kevin?
No, I have no changes to the agenda.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're good there. So minutes, let's move on to the minutes. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes and then we discuss? Is that correct? Okay,
Second.
okay. So any discussion or questions about the minutes? I did not. Anyone else? All right, all in favor to accept the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Approved. Okay, so we move on to, hello, Deb. You need to come over here.
Gotta be by a mic.
Yeah, and they took, yeah.
Yeah, I
This
forget
is-
whose
Well, if you
name was on it.
consider,
It's already
if
got
you
your name
consider
on
the
it.
name that's on there is important, I guess. I
We
knew
have
it.
fewer mics tonight, Deb, and so we're leaving this one open for public commentary.
Okay, so we're moving along to director's report. So Kevin, we'll start with, Metro Public Library Director report and then the stats. You can just kind of go right into that.
Thank you. The written report is not very big because, as I state in item number 3, I mean, these last number of weeks have been focusing on collecting pricing and technology ideas for applying for American Rescue Plan Act grant through the State Library. Allery Loof, our cataloger, began today, and Spring Store Walks begun. That's kind of the main things. And I'm going to try this meeting, unlike previous meetings. The written report, you've all read the written report. Any questions? And not talk so much, and we can get out of here sooner.
All right, well, I think that, wasn't this another item on the agenda, that number 3?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a business
so,
item.
okay.
So,
So, and the library stats, do you want to go over those now? Or
I
do
guess
we need
any
to approve
questions?
the director
Yeah,
report?
I mean, it's another month of stats. I don't know if there were any questions.
Anything you want to point out? Because I look at those and...
Yeah, I mean, again, quite honestly, I just compiled everything, and I didn't look at them in-depthly
Okay,
because I was
because of the
working
other
on this grant.
priority. Sure.
So,
But you're continuing with the correction stuff
Yes,
that we
and if
talked
you-
about, and those will be
and you see that
reflected.
there, the first graph, circulation, that is
So
now...
we're not double counting or
Right.
whatever, okay.
All right.
And the other, I guess, maybe it's in the financial, I see we got the county $6,500.
Yep, yeah, and
Good.
you know, we had gotten that before last month's meeting, but it is
wasn't
now in the
deposited in
it's now in the April financial reports.
Okay.
Okay. So, any other questions for Kevin on the written director's report or the stats or the graphs? All right. Can I have a motion to approve the director's reports and documents? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? All right. So next is the financial report and approval of bills. So one of those things you kind of touched on, Steve, with the, because it included that deposit of $6,500. That must be the county. Anything else of note in there, Kevin?
Then that just increased our ending balance, as you can see. So we're
Okay.
over $109,000.
Okay.
And
then anything on the,
and then the reports. I guess I'll just mention now with Allery moving to full-time today, you know, she can start doing a lot more cataloging, get a lot more cataloging done so that we can start ordering more books. I mean, she has a big pile of books to catalog, but we can now, you know, we've been holding off on ordering all that we would normally order each month just because, you know.
yeah, I mean, just, you know, you get to the fall and we always have to make sure that we use up our budget and yet don't let it go into the next year. But
Right.
you have plenty of months to catch up on that, I would think. Anything else on that expenditures report of note?
No, it's correct. Under capital outlay, at a previous city council meeting, they approved the supplemental budget. So under furniture and equipment, I'll just point out that money, was just moved from last year's budget. That leftover money to pay for the upholstery work on the furniture we didn't get done until this year. And then under computer hardware, that was a similar deal, and that money was moved from last year's budget under the supplemental budgeting process to this year to pay for some computer accessories that Andrew didn't get ordered for us until very late. So.
Okay. And computer software, that's what you're talking about?
Computer hardware under capital outlay.
Okay, and then what about up top, the computer software?
That's just a typical
fluctuation. Oh,
yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
All right. So, any questions or concerns about the expenditures report, or the detail versus budget, or the QG invoice?
And then the one invoice that's at the end, and this is actually something that you've approved already, for us to spend for summer programming that Zach had requested, and so I'm just showing that that's there and ready to be paid. So I actually have a check. Once we get done with the meeting, I have a check for you and a cosign.
Sure. All right. So we're good there. So all in favor to accept the financial report and approval of bills, say, no, I need a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that passed. And then we need to look at the pandemic library operations policy.
There's really no change to this, so I don't know if you need to approve it again or take action. We will be putting out more furniture. I wrote this up last week before the CDC came out with their latest mask guidance. So, for our masking, we're not going to be expecting, or, the staff is still wearing masks out of, I think, so, although they're starting to wear them less, but, and I think fewer people are wearing masks, so that's fine. So we will continue to, we need to discuss upcoming when to discontinue quarantining too, which then would be able to empty out some of the community room space too, because we have.
And then update the programming, locations, and all that type of
Yeah.
stuff. So are you thinking June into July to kind of that?
Yeah, I think so, because we still are going to, we've already planned all of our summer programming to be outdoors, and, and the children's stuff's going to be down here, and Doug Greenway's excited about that too.
No reason to change that.
No, because a number of the events with this year's theme of Tales and Tales and animals, we're going to have a number of animals, and so like an alpaca and a goat, so having them outside would probably be better than in the library.
Okay. And then the summer hour, as you get to June and July, I thought there'd note something, maybe Monday night, one night.
Well, and that's the next.
Open,
that's the next item on
summer,
the agenda.
Sorry.
So.
Jumped the gun.
Okay. What about the 1 hour limit? Are you looking at changing that? Or not yet?
Yeah, we need to discuss that, especially I think with the guidance of masking, and if you're fully vaccinated people. So
you're going to discuss that with your staff?
Yeah, we'll just, and I think we're not being the 60-minute police either. Of if somebody stays a little longer, it's not that. We're not making a big deal of it.
All right. All right, so, so do we need to do anything on the COVID-19 policy? Because the next step B, we're going to talk about summer hours. So let's talk about summer hours, and then we can.
Oh, if I can
Change the
just
whole thing.
interject, I'm sorry. I uploaded a wrong document. The next page should have actually been part of director's report. I'm just pointing this out, that WhoFi system that we get through the state library that shows how many people are on our wireless, our Wi-Fi. Now, this month I found this nice graphic report, so I threw that in there. Next month I'll make sure to get it in the right spot in the agenda packet.
All right. So, again, I think we need to look ahead to summer hours and look at the traffic reports, and then maybe we can do all that together, right?
So,
Is this different than?
Oh, this is April. The traffic for April, and then I did have incorrect the first half of May. This I got done on Monday morning and got into the agenda. So, and then I just hand wrote on this what I just handed out as a reminder of what March traffic was. So, unfortunately, in April we were down nearly 300 people, which kind of surprised me because every month, we've been seeing an increase. And then for the month of May, we are, halfway through, and we're kind of right at about that half of 2,800, so kind of half of what we were in March. So I guess the biggest thing that I'm suggesting is for the summer hours that begin after Memorial Day, instead of being open until 9 o'clock on Monday evenings like they've been previously, we're still seeing for April, we saw an average of 2 during the 6 to 7 o'clock hour, and for the first 2 weeks of May, we're seeing an average of 3. In my spreadsheet that I'm keeping track of this, I'm also entering some notes asking the staff what there were in May, those nights that there were higher numbers, or at the end of April when there were that higher number from 6 to 7 of 9.
Mm-hmm.
That Monday night, there were 2 girls who came in that hour, like 2 or 3 times, went to the bathroom, went back out of the building, came back in and went to the bathroom. So, I just asked the staff, was there anything, did we have that many people, or did you notice anything?
Then there's another time here where there's 7 in May.
Yeah, and I think
that
that night
similar?
there were a couple of people who came in a couple of times.
Okay.
There was one night that there were some boys that came in multiple times. So,
Okay.
we're not at present seeing a lot of people yet in that 6 to 7 hours. So, to then extend the hours till 9 o'clock, I don't see that that's necessary. I mean, we'll still, and the staff has said in the past, even during the summer, I mean, it was hit and miss. Some nights there'd be nobody until, those last couple of hours, and then some nights there would be. And so, not knowing how cautious people will be yet, or if they're they'll be wanting to come out into the evening, or they'll be going out and doing other things in the evening, like going to softball games or whatever. I guess based on these numbers, that's my recommendation. I forgot to check on that. I'm sorry. Well, and I think that's why in the summer, you know, we were open. Well, that's one reason why we were open one night later. And as Deb said last month, historically, Monday night was the night that stores were open downtown. And then
Yeah, that was
and
many
then,
years ago.
And then
That was
one
like when I was
staff,
growing up.
one staff member who's been there, the last staff member who's been there yet over 30 years said that, well, there was once a person who came and was an employee and then requested that she would work every Monday night, and she would like to, you know, she'd like to work until 9 o'clock, and then not too long after that, then she quit. And so then everybody else, I mean, I'm not saying that, I'm just giving you the history of what I've been told. So, you know, I guess I prefer looking at what our traffic is. I know back in March, Steve had someone contact him asking that we would be open.
At least till 6 o'clock.
Well, till 7, one night a week. And, I mean, now we're, you know, seeing that. I mean, the good thing is in May, the first 2 weeks, there were people every night except one that, you know, a few people who came in, where in April, you know, there were a lot of zeros yet in the 6 to 7 o'clock hour. So, yeah.
I would be interested to see what happens after school gets out in the last couple, in your last week of May and first week, because all of a sudden you might have kids that, and families, or even just, we've had it before, we have kids that go to the library from 4 o'clock till 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And they're just there the whole time.
Or we're there 4 o'clock till 9 o'clock. They were there the whole time, unaccompanied,
right.
Unsupervised. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. About 4 years ago, we had that issue. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Sorry.
7, right? We're just open till.
Yes, we're open till 7, Monday through Thursday.
So why does it have till 8? Is that the staff?
Well, because I had just done this, you know, knowing that next fall, I mean, we'll be open until 9. I mean, so I had just kind of planned ahead. I'll have to add another column in there for open until 9. And those, one other note on some of those, even after 7 to 8, or our HVAC system, you know, we don't have the double doors, and so, you know, the blower system, the pressure pushes the doors out. So there were a couple of those counts too, that it was staff trying to get the doors shut, but with our electronic doors, you know, if they're standing on the inside, they can't pull it, and you know, they tried to push it, or then they came back in and they mechanically locked it so it would stay locked. So.
Yeah. That does.
Getting ready for the weekend.
Yeah. So what are the winter hours open? Normally, we're open till 9 every night?
Monday through Thursday.
Till 9.
Yeah. Friday, it's always been closed at 6.
Okay.
And then Saturday, 6 too.
So, I don't know what you guys think. I see your point, Diana, that we're just kind of guessing. Yeah, well, we can't really compare to anything.
And
this is a new
I don't have
system.
even, as you know, numbers from even when we had normal times, because we didn't have a people counting
Right.
system.
Right.
So,
Yep. So, what
I
your
mean, I
recommendation?
guess I mean, we could try the 7, and if we have a lot of people coming, and I'm asking the staff to, pay attention to how many bodies there are in that last hour, and if we have lots of people coming, next month we could change it to being open till 8, or being open later, or vice versa. I guess I'm looking for guidance, and
Yeah.
and
I guess I wouldn't have an issue if Mondays you stay open till 8 and the other days we're closing at 7, and then, I mean, the information, we get that out, that if you need to come later, it's a Monday night, and plan accordingly. So
the other days we close at 6. I mean, that's
At 6?
it's always been 6, with Monday night being open until later.
So, as the summer hours.
Yeah, it's the summer hours from after Memorial Day, the Tuesday after Memorial Day, until Labor Day weekend. It was then Monday through Thursday till 6. I'm sorry, Monday it was till 9, and then Tuesday through Friday till 6. Well, I mean, I can.
Here in Watertown, Brooklyn,
Yeah,
Vermillion.
I can. Yeah, Huron, Yankton, Brookings is going to be a little bigger. Aberdeen's a little bigger. Watertown's a little bigger. But I mean, those are our comparables.
The physical use of the library probably gone down because of all the access on the internet now.
Yeah.
The keyboards and whatever else they can get. I mean, as a teacher, my kids used to have to go there at night because they had no place to do their research and whatever. Where now they can do it online. So, not that they're not using, the library's resources, but I can see not staying open as late as saying you're not probably going to have the need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, our library is available 24/7 because of that. Well, first, let me say, I'm not suggesting this as necessarily as a permanent thing. Yeah, there are places, but some of that's due to budget cuts too. They cut their budget, so then they have to cut their hours. So, but I think with some of the electronic resources, and people can check out ebooks or e-audio books, that they don't have to come in, and I mean, I guess looking towards our next business item of a discussion, I would hope that in the future, if we get that grant, and we also add all of those technology services, that we'd be working on adding those this summer and early fall. That when we have those, that would create more demand too. So, so then going, and I fully expect that next fall we'll be normalizing and going back to normal hours. So I was proposing this as a way to ease back into our full regular schedule.
So you are recommending that we stay open till 7 on Monday nights and 6 the other night.
Yeah.
And then we
When
can,
summer hours start.
that is the summer hours, right? For this summer. Yeah.
For this summer.
Um, right. so any other discussion or questions about that? Can I have a motion for that then?
So,
Okay. All right, so all in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that passed.
Deb, did you second that?
yes,
So then, that covers the traffic report, Kevin, and then C is the grant.
Okay.
So tell us about the grant.
I included a summary of what we're all proposing for this grant. It's American Rescue Plan dollars, and the state library is facilitating that. They got $2.2 million, and so they will be distributing that. They've been promoting it, so I think they're a little surprised. And they're having 3 weeks of application. Last week was schools in the state. School libraries could apply, submit their applications. This week, public libraries, and the next week, academic libraries. And I think, sounds like an email came out today from the state librarian, and they're probably receiving more interest and more applications and for more dollars than they expected, because they had previously said, well, we'll have multiple rounds until the money's, and now they're talking like, I don't know if we'll be having multiple rounds. Because if everybody, and we can apply amount, the minimum amount is requesting $5,000, and then you have to apply in increments of 5,000 up to 100,000, and I went big and applying for the whole $100,000. So
Is this part
I
of the...
kind of gave a summary there of what we were doing. I divided it into 4 main categories of public service related items, staff related items, putting some technology in the meeting rooms, and then infrastructure. And if we get this, like some of the infrastructure would be updating our firewall, router, and switches, which would then save the city money, because Andrew Schneider, the IT guy, was planning on updating a couple of those this year.
Right?
Yeah, and so that'll save him some money. Some of the other, we actually only have 1 staff computer that we would be updating, and that would save the city money too, because we have recently my computer was updated last year before I started. We updated a couple others through that CARES Act grant, and the board paid for 2 to update recently, so we don't need to do that. So
100,000 is not an all or nothing. It can be anywhere.
I'm hoping that they will say, okay, well, we can't give you 100,000, we'll give you 60 or 50, and then we'll have to, we'll have to prioritize. I mean, they haven't said what they will be doing yet, but
They might come back and say pick $60,000.
yeah, I mean, I'd take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that, well, a couple of things that we're looking at is subscribing to a service. I mean, you have to pay a yearly fee for it, so it's kind of like a maintenance or a yearly service agreement for a system that would allow people to use a computer to reserve or log on and reserve a computer rather than coming up to the CERC desk. And then that same system would allow us to manage printing so that people could just print and they wouldn't have to come up to the, well, there we would be getting a coin and bill acceptor for those people who still would do cash. Their system, their add-ons for like credit card is a lot more, and I'm not sure that I want to do that through them. But we did check on Square. Has everybody experienced Square? we can get we have an old iPad. We'd be upgrading a couple of our iPads, and so we could take one of our old iPads, buy a Square stand for it, and get their software, their point-of-sale software for free. And then we would be able to accept credit cards. But it's one thing I wanted to talk to you all about and get your input on that, and approval or not approval. Square would provide us, we wouldn't have to have any monthly fees, but when you accept credit cards, like some people say, you don't make money accepting credit cards. It's an expense because you have to pay a service fee, and then some places you have to pay a monthly service fee, and Square charges. We would just get the free version, which would be 2.6% fee per transaction plus a 10 cents per transaction. So, but then we wouldn't have to pay a $30 to $50 monthly fee on top of that.
Can you check with the city for the point of sale systems that they have in place? Because we made the rec center, the Corn Palace, the golf course, and other places all move to the same point of sale system, or at least we attempted to.
Okay, I thought of doing that, and the reason I didn't was because I thought, okay, the Board of Trustees gets all of the money, and so I didn't know if I wanted to, intermingle it with their system, and and then have to. I'm sorry. Well, we'll take in. Let me go back to the budget reports.
The book sales are always, what, a couple hundred?
Yeah, last month for book sales in April, it was just over $400 in book sales. Other months have been $350, and then we take in, copies. That'll be anywhere from $30 to $150 a month. So we'll take in 500 or so a month. Here we go. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Well, so it would be for everything, and so we also are writing on these little slips of paper. It's really hokey, Fritz. We write down how much money we took in, and then we have to have two people initial it, because if you have, and then we write down if it's for copies, if it's for book sale or whatever, and then put it in. And we have 3 separate cash drawers. And if we had a point of sale system, they could push book sale or 2 paperbacks to whatever, and then we'd be able to have a report of everything at the end of the month, or at the end of the week, or at the end of the day, when we would but I can still do that. So I guess more so what I wanted the board to consider is that if we do go to some type of a accepting credit cards, we'd have to be giving, that would come out of the board account, because the city doesn't take, the city pays for the copy machines, the city pays for the paper.
We would have to make an expense item out of the trustees account.
Yeah.
But then we get that money.
Well,
but we get that money already.
We get that money already. Say our budget was like $12,000 or whatever. Right. But part of that, and if I look at, we just got $6,500 from the county. None of that would count because it's not paid through the point of sale system.
No.
So it would be the transaction amount. So maybe you're at $10,000 a year times 2.6%.
Well, and that would only be for credit card
right.
charges. Any cash, there wouldn't be that fee.
Then you don't have that fee. But we do the same thing at the golf course. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, I guess, convenience of or if there would be any issues with, keeping it separate. I mean, I talked to, and I talked to the library director in Vermillion, and that's where I found out about they used the Square system, because he said he looked into what the city used, and it was too expensive, just in terms of even the monthly fees. And
Yeah, I didn't know if it was the same as the city, then the fees just split
but
across
I
the
can
whole
talk.
thing, and maybe it's cheaper for it.
I can talk to Michelle Backey about that.
But I guess from this, if part of it is to get a point of sale system for the library from the CARES grant, yes. How it looks and everything else, the details, I'm not sure yet, but I think it's probably important to try and get that.
Okay.
So this American Rescue Plan Act is like CARES money?
It's American Rescue
It's
Plan
American
money.
Rescue
I mean,
Plan. That's
But it's a COVID,
yes,
part of that
the
COVID budget.
bill,
January 11th bill or something.
yeah, or February or something.
All right.
It was,
February.
well, I think it was in February, because it was after Biden was inaugurated, and then the
All right.
Congress passed that, and then,
It's like the second
everybody,
thing or the
people
third
got
thing or whatever.
the extra $1,400 relief check, from the
Okay.
IRS.
Okay,
It's that bill.
okay, all right. I didn't know.
And there
maybe
was
that
money for libraries in it. So, so that was kind of for the board's knowledge. I wanted you to see, but if everybody's in agreement that, we would do that, because we've had people ask about, do they take credit? Yeah.
How do you?
Oh, I'll have to run home to get
Well,
cash
I'm
or
thinking,
something. People don't
young
carry
people,
cash.
Aren't gonna have cash.
they don't have cash. I mean,
Yeah.
we offer to give our daughter money, like if we're settling up on something, and she'll say,
Venmo it.
please
Yep.
don't
Well,
give me that cash.
That would be another way we could do it. We could set up a Venmo account.
Well, that
and
would be easy.
there's
There's no
fee
charge
for
on that.
But a point of sale would still be,
Be easier with a credit card. I mean, because not everyone. They
yeah,
have
or
to be,
if they have a debit card,
no, not
Right.
everyone. But
Yeah. Yeah, and then we get we reports
My
too.
son
I mean,
said that.
Venmo would just tell us how much we got incoming, but not where it all went.
Okay.
So,
Well,
so
I will,
the city council last evening approved our request for authorization. So
to apply for this?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I have authorization to apply for it, and I need to get it in this week. I've gotten all of the items that we've identified that we want to purchase entered, because we have to enter, and it comes to $99,960 or something.
That's
So,
close.
yeah,
Good.
Well, I will, I just want to say again, I applaud you for your efforts on searching for the grants and applying for them and being successful the last time, so there's no reason to suggest
Yeah.
that you won't be at least partially successful this time, and that's awesome. That's free money for us. We like free money. So, thank you for doing that, Kevin. And what do we need to do do we need to do any action on this?
well,
I mean, it's kind of been approved by the,
yeah, I didn't know.
council,
The only issue would be is if you feel you need to take a vote on a credit card, on that, but we could wait in the future, or,
See what money you get and where you decide to spend it. I would guess, my only comment is, once you find out what you get, if there's a priority part, maybe you want to ask us.
Yeah.
And we get input from the staff as to
where.
either what we hear the public wants, or, there'll be staff needs and public needs, and, say you get $50,000, well, I'm gonna do part of this and part of this and part of
Yeah.
this, and what do people think?
Yeah, so we could talk about that next
that's what
month.
I'm thinking too.
How
I don't
soon- How
expect-
soon will they decide?
I mean,
Did they
they
say?
talk about, wanting to get through it, but it's, from that email that came today, it sounded like, they're getting more applications. They don't want, and maybe even wordier applications than they want. They wanted it to be a kind of a short application, but another issue is that if there's anything any item over $5,000, then they are going to have to go to the Federal Institute of Museum and Library Service to get an additional approval for those more expensive items. I don't believe that I have I have one item that was over $5,000. Some of the other stuff I broke up into chunks
Pieces to get,
so that I wouldn't have that.
very good.
You know, like that coin bill acceptor, I did that separate from the print management system. So,
Good thinking.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess we are giving you the go-ahead, and I don't know, do we need to have a vote on that for the grant, or just thank you for your
I
input?
don't think we do.
Okay, so thank you for the information about that, Kevin. Then committee reports, we have no committees that I'm aware of. Board input, anything? And then citizens input.
Waited a long time.
I know, we could have
Hello,
switched that around a little
everybody.
bit.
Thank you for your time and your attention. I'm Sheila Slater, here today representing the Friends Foundation of the Mitchell Public Library. And I'm actually really excited to inform you that we will be moving forward with the Art in the Park this year, the second annual, thanks to a very generous grant by the Mitchell Area Charitable Foundation and some other help that we received. We secured the Dry Run Creek Park, I'm hoping to say that right, where the skate park is, for June 19th. The event will be held from 11 a.m. until 4 or 5 p.m. It's for people who don't know about last year's event that was during the pandemic, and we called it Art in the Yard, where we handed out 70 canvases via pickup at the library. This year we're going to be handing out 200 canvases, and we're going to do it there at the park. The canvases are free for the kids. They're aged, again, probably 5 to 15, 16 years of age. Last year's theme was Together Apart. This year is Reunited. And so we'll have a paint station. We'll have the canvases. We're planning it in picnic form. It's a very nice, meandering park. We have the little pavilion, or pavilion in English, sorry, secured with the Parks and Recreation. This week we'll start with some radio interviews, hopefully in marketing, flyers, etc. I've reached out to the Mitchell Independent School District and spoke to Dr. Graves. We're going to work with teachers, hopefully, and they'll help us promote the event. Mr. Doug Greenway is excited to showcase the art at the end. Then what we'll do is the top 30, we'll collect those again, the art pieces, and showcase them in the Corn Palace for 2 weeks, leading up then again to a silent auction and the closing event of this fundraiser event.
So how many canvases this year?
200.
Cool.
And you said the 19th?
June 19th, yes, 11
So they
a.m.
must be there that day to use them
Yes.
and complete them?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we could probably drop some at the library if you wanted to, ahead of the time, hand them out. I just thought, since we're pretty much with CDC guidelines allowed to get back together, it's a bigger park, families can, park themselves on the grass with a picnic blanket. We'll have a food truck, we'll have some other vendors, we'll have, of course, some entertainment for the kids, like egg walk, what do you call it, sack jumping, things like that. Sack races. Thank you. And other things that we're planning. So we're excited, and we hope you share that with your patrons, and as soon as I get the flyers, which should be the day after tomorrow, I'll come by, Kevin, and give you a stack, and we'll start stickering the town with the flyers and advertising. Did you guys have any questions for me? Do I need to disclose that, or it's public record? It's $2,000 for cost. I bought insurance today and other material costs that we needed to get this thing going.
What time did you say, 11?
11 till 5. And then all the proceeds, again, of the event will go towards the library. like we did last year. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more, but. Yes, Dry Run Creek. Well, that's what made it attractive to me because it kind of combines both of the sides, from Minnesota, I think, until Burr.
Yep.
The pass goes.
Minnesota to Burr.
So it's a pretty bigger area. We'll put balloons out and signage and everything, and there's parking when you come from the side streets. There should be
There's a
plenty
couple
of parking,
places, yeah.
Yeah, there's that big parking lot.
There's the parking lot by the skate park,
Right.
and then,
There's another one.
another one on the road that comes down that
Is
dead
it
ends.
Langdon? I'm not sure. I think it's Langdon that comes down Langdon. Could be.
What?
I'm not sure. We'll put a little map on the back.
Okay.
It's a really cool.
I like that part. We don't live that far, and it's just very pretty.
Kimball.
And I thought when we're
Yeah.
doing art, it's wind covered. With Mitchell, you never know. It's not all out in the open so much. So
My only, just a quick thought, we're doing East Central drainage work in that area.
yeah,
So on Langdon, I believe.
but that's further south.
Well, it's gonna go right down to Dry Run Creek because
in June.
I don't know if they'll
Because
get
they
that
already
far in
started,
June.
because we live there, and that's what they're started phase 1, which was Hackberry,
Yep,
and then in June we're going to be next. It's early June. The first 2 weeks, I think, is what they said, and then the third phase is.
it's not gonna get that far down there by that, you might know more than, I just know that we're doing the work there.
I'll
and it-
double check on
And
that.
it ends up dumping into Dry Run Creek,
Mhm.
so,
I'll check with the workers. They're right in front of my door
okay,
right now.
yeah,
I'll double check
and
with
maybe
them.
they won't get that far until
But
much
the
later.
Park and Recreation, they didn't mention it, so I'll ask them again tomorrow. I see them tomorrow.
And that parking lot, right, is on
That's
Kimball.
Kimball.
Oh, it is Kimball,
So that's just north of
yeah. That's
what?
where the
Is that
Havel-
Haven?
the
That's
village-
Douglas.
Douglas.
Yeah, there's a little
Okay.
pavilion and there's the park there, the
I've
tennis
done
court
that.
used to be there.
Here's the skate,
And the skate park's
the
right
skate
down there.
park.
Right, that's
I've
right on
never-
Burr.
Yeah.
So last year we
I
had
mean, I see when I go
approximately
by
250 people. I'm hoping we can at least double
Minnesota.
that this year
But
or
I've
more.
never
with-
stopped to look at it. or
We'll
anything.
see.
You can get there from Burr too, down the path
Okay,
on the bike. It's really kind of fun.
yeah, yeah. So is there, a concern about, will people know where to pick up their canvases and that sort of thing, or?
I don't think so. I mean, we'll spread the news through social media, of course, through the 2 local stations.
Okay.
Hopefully through the paper as well, and flyers. So
Okay.
I'm sure they'll know. And this is geared more towards family that stay here during the summer.
Sure.
I know school will be out, but we're spreading the word in the schools before they let out, hopefully, about
Mhm.
the event with the art teachers, and I'm sure a few people show up. We donated $500 with proceeds last year. It was smaller with the pandemic, and people were just, yes. Hopefully it'll be bigger and more fun this year.
Yeah, that's fun. Any questions, other questions for Sheila?
Sounds great.
Thank you very much for keeping us updated.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your time.
Perhaps
again.
next time we can adjust the agenda just a little bit and get you, so you don't have to sit through the whole meeting, if you don't want to. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you. All right, I don't see anything else on the agenda. Does anyone else have anything? We're in under the wire time-wise. Next meeting, June 15th, 5 p.m. All right. Meeting is adjourned.
5:54.
That's a record.
Yeah, that's